G'day, welcome to the Josh Wade Show. My name's Josh Wade. On today's episode, I talk to comedian Emily Tresidder. We talk about females in comedy. We talk about the entertainment industry in general. We talk about sort of tall poppy syndrome and what it takes to succeed. Is it slight delusion? Is it total confidence? We talk about gay marriage. We talk about I don't know. It's a wacky conversation. Emily is a really, really funny guy. She's one of the boys. Emily, we love you, bruh. She's a really, really funny girl. You guys are going to connect with her. I had a great time. Me and Connor both thought it was a really, really cool, honest chat. And yeah, check out some of Emily's comedy. The links will be down below. Otherwise, enjoy the conversation. Help us out on Patreon if you want to. Get to join a private Facebook group. We do live streams every week. You guys get to join in. Life advice, all that sort of bits and pieces. It's all in the group. Come and help us out. Or if you want to listen to the show on audio version, you can. Links will be down below, iTunes or on Android. It's all free on there. Just easier to listen to if you're driving or working or whatever. Leave us a review on there if you want to. Otherwise, subscribe, help out the show. Leave us a comment. Leave your thoughts along the way. And until then, my name's Josh Wade. I'll see you soon. G'day and welcome to the Josh Wade Show. My name's Josh Wade and this is my show. Today, Emily Tresidder.
That's me.
I said it right.
Tresidder, yeah.
I get scared.
You crashed it.
I get scared. Where is that? Where's that from?
It's Welsh.
Welsh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Emily, thanks for coming on the show. You're a female comic, but
That's
you're
true.
a comic, not a female comic. But
And both of those things.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
It's two. It's like the female comic and the comic.
It does. How do you feel about that? You're the first. Well, you're the first female comic to come on the show. Actually, yeah, first female comic to come on the show. So
Well,
thank you.
that's exciting.
Yeah, you're breaking the virginity.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad that you chose me. How do I feel about being the first female on your show, or how do I feel about being a female comic?
Let's both. Yeah.
Okay. Being on your show, I feel honoured.
Great.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
It's the first Josh Wade show as well.
Whoa.
Well, possibly. I mean, it's the first one that we're filming.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it could be the 27th.
So you're
Who knows?
the first person on the Josh Wade show.
Yep.
You're the first.
So anything could happen.
You are the first of everything. You have just crushed the hymen of this show. Hard.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
I don't know where to go from there because I feel like we've already like peaked.
We have.
Because I'm just so thrilled about all of these things.
I can tell.
I also ate ice cream, so now I'm feeling like I'm buzzing.
That real
I'm
shit?
happy on like numerous levels.
So we just did Emily's podcast before and then we went and got some food and now we're doing this one. But we had Borak.
Yes, we did.
Borak. Explain Borak for people that don't know because it's not in Queensland. I've only seen it in Melbourne.
I guess it's like not pita bread, but like it's not flatbread either.
No.
Some kind of bread that's like medium density.
Yeah.
Then you wrap a filling in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a fold over. Like a burrito, but flat and not as fat. Just
like a Turkish sausage roll almost.
Yeah.
Thinner. Much thinner.
It's kind of hard to explain now that's why you made me do it, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I thought go for it. You put me on the spot before, so
yeah, fair.
Instagram
I knew that we should have done this one first so that you wouldn't have any ammunition. Like the level that I interviewed you, you'll now interview me. No, so
you're fine. It's fair game. You can go as hard as you want on me. But anyway, you're a comic. How long have you been doing comedy for?
4 years.
Yep. And you were an actor before that, or you wanted to do acting?
Yeah, I always wanted to be on stage in some way.
Yeah.
And when I finished school, like I have a degree in performance.
Yep.
So I studied performance, started in a like a sketch comedy theatre show for Australian Theatre for Young People, which is like exactly what it's called.
Yep.
Theatre for Young People. And so that was like a Christmas review thing.
Yep.
And then the director of that, another actor in that, and I started our own sketch comedy group.
Right.
Then I went to Edinburgh in 2013 with that. Mm-hmm. And then after I came back from Edinburgh, I saw a bunch of stand-up over there and I was like, much, I think, with your sentiments, I was like, how about I'll just have the spotlight for me? That would be great.
Yeah.
So I then moved into stand-up. So that was, probably like the end of 2013, beginning of 2014.
Do you think this is like, you like being here? You like where you are now? What you're doing?
In this room. I feel very boss in this room.
Yeah, you are a fucking boss.
These chairs are...
Doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I feel like the more that you do stand-up, the more that you realise there's more for you to do in stand-up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think, like anything, ignorance is bliss. So the less you know about something, the less you know you need to know about something.
Yeah.
So the more that I do stand-up, the more that I'm like, I need to keep doing it and get,
Yeah.
So, but also in saying that, doing stand-up has also opened a lot of other mediums to me. So like podcasting, for example, is something I've started doing this year, which I love.
Yeah.
I think it's like a really cool medium, and it just means you get to like talk shit for, you know, an hour with some really cool people, which I really like doing.
Yeah.
And so I think stand-up is right now, I love it.
Yeah.
But I can also see the like benefit and or the opportunity to
come out of it.
My horizons.
Yeah, like you could go back into acting if you really wanted to.
Yeah, sure. Like comedic acting is something that, like, I mean, I've got the skill set, so why not? If something came up, I wouldn't.
I like that you said that you have the skill set.
Was that wanky?
No, it wasn't wanky. See, you just said what other people would say. That was my point of interest there, is that not many people are able to audit themselves enough to go, yeah, I'm fucking good at that thing. That's my thing they're good at. Were you always going, I know what I'm capable of, I know where my strengths are, I know where my weaknesses are?
Have I always been a wanker?
Well, you got to be a wanker. Only wankers succeed. Look at who the billionaires are in the world.
True. I think you always have to back yourself. I think that's one of my, actually, it's kind of like a gift and a curse, because I do always like want to be in my own corner. I want to be backing myself 100%.
Yeah.
And I know I work hard enough to be able to say that I'm working hard enough and I'm doing you know, great things.
Yeah.
I think my career trajectory so far has been really fast and good, and kind of like evidence to the fact that I'm doing well at what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So it's based in fact. Like I'm not I'm not like I'm amazing and everyone needs to hear it, but
I just mean, just even in fact, like people seem to be, you know, they don't want to touch, even if it is 100% the truth, people don't acknowledge it, or they can acknowledge it in themselves, but they can't publicly come forward and say it because they're worried that people might bring them down because they're... Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think there's too much of that, though.
Why?
I think
Where does that come from?
Well, I think there's heaps of different areas, I think, that, and like reasons why I think that's the case. I think there's obviously like tall poppy syndrome, so everyone doesn't want to see someone else succeed because they get teared down. In that sense, because you know that there are people around you that are going to see you growing and want to tear you down, you automatically want to say, let me hold all my cards very close and not tell you what I'm doing and not tell you how well I'm doing, so you can't tear me down.
Yeah.
You know, so there's like that hidden element of it. Like you might be kicking a million goals, but you're not going to tell anyone because you want to keep it close to your chest, which I think is also really smart.
Yeah.
But I think another reason is obviously human nature is to not want to be too egotistical, even though I don't think that it's necessarily like an ego thing when you just back yourself. I think
there's two different things going on.
There's hubris, which is like a fake bravado, which is like, I am the best, I am the most macho, I can walk into a room and I'm huge. Yeah. But then there's also like, well, let's look at the facts. Let's look at what's happened in the past, you know, year, 2 years, 6 years, whatever. And you can say, well, yeah, justifiably I can say that I've been quite good at that thing, or justifiably I can say that, you know, I have worked really hard and I do put a lot of effort into it because you're actually doing that. Yeah. And so I think, there's a difference between hubris and like just being honest. Yeah.
I think you can sense it in someone as well when they walk into a room. Like if someone's very, very confident, I feel like anyway, I can sense their energy and just go, you're just a good bullshit artist, but that's about it. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a difference between being a bullshit artist and actually being able to sell yourself and your abilities. But anyway, I don't know how the fuck we got onto that, but that went real quick.
But no, I think that's a really interesting point though. I think there are so many people in today's society that won't back themselves for fear of being judged for backing themselves. Yes. And I think that sucks because if you're not backing yourself, who else is going to? You know, you need to put your chips in and be like, all in, I'm doing it, you know? Yeah, fucking And having people tearing you down for saying, I am good at it and I am going to try really hard and I am going to do really well, that sucks. I think everyone should be backing themselves, at least to the extent that they're working hard at it, you know?
Can you rechannel that energy of people bringing you down as almost... Because here's one, this just popped up then. There's someone that I know of, I know them, that they'll constantly post things on Facebook and that sort of asserting that they're doing all these amazing things, and it's sort of like this, you know what I'm talking about, and it's this constant like it almost comes across almost insecure. Where was I going with this? What were we talking about? Jesus, my brain's running 100 miles an hour.
tearing people down.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. But he's constantly talking about, all these people trying to say that I'm, not doing well, I'm doing awesome things. And, sort of like they relish and they try and make out like the haters are what are fueling them. Whereas, and that's not it. They're extremely insecure and that they're sort of playing the, that card instead of owning it. Do you think people are able to channel the other way and go, well, look, people might be, having some sort of jealousy or envy or something like that, but I know that it's genuinely because I'm doing well and not because I'm a cunt.
Well, I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I'd hope so. I mean...
I don't know why I asked that question, but...
They're two very different people.
Do you know, have you met these people before?
I mean, they're everywhere. Yeah. And I think that is another reason why people are scared to be even a little bit like, here's a goal I kicked, because they're like, oh, everyone's going to just think that I'm like shoving it in people's faces because of blah, blah, and blah. Yeah. So, I mean, they're everywhere. And that's why I think there is like a bad sort of like stigma attached to being... But
isn't that bizarre when like you could get someone that can post a photo of them on a beach, looking like awesome, having a great holiday. And that's great and good on you. And that's a highlight reel type thing that you have on Instagram. But then when it's actually something of substance and something that genuinely matters that you've done well, that's something that we're like, oh no, that's something I don't want to highlight too much. Are we highlighting the wrong things? Are we bragging about the wrong things to people?
I think both get a very similar reaction though.
Yeah.
If I was I think we all are in a sense or to a degree. People, you look at, say you see a mate's picture on a beach, you like it, but in your mind you're like, damn, I wish I was at that beach. Just like if your mate posted a photo being like, I just won this award or whatever, you'd like it and be like, oh, like I wish I got that award. Why didn't I get that award? So the beach thing is the same, I think.
Do you think that that nature is in our DNA, or has it come from somewhere else that we want what other people... Have humans always been like that, do you think? Or has that come from something else that we always want what we can't have and we get it and then we want something else and it's just this constant need for more? Or is that does that come back to this materialistic society that we live in where nothing's ever enough? Like,
it's probably all... It's like a snowball. Yeah. I imagine in the beginning, like way in the beginning, like cavemen would be like, hey, that guy's got a fire. I'm going to make a bigger fire.
Yeah.
And then that led to the like discovery of like weapons and whatever. Yeah. Then they build like a house. I'm going to have a bigger house than that dude. Then comes in commercialism, materialism. The more that we create, the more that we want, obviously. So I think it is all connected.
So we're living in a hyper sensitive version of that time where everyone's just like, fuck, I want the next...
Because of social media, I think that the rise of the internet and being able to literally see every highlight from everyone's life... You used to just have to like go over to your auntie's place and she'd show you like a photo book of all of her holidays and you'd have to wait until that exact moment to see all of her stuff. Yeah. But now you can see it literally 24/7.
It's also easier to fake that shit now as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Filter the shit out of a picture of a coffee and it looks $1 million, like...
Or it's not hard to fucking get an Airbnb for one day and take a photo like you're staying in a mansion and...
It's so true.
It's all smoke and mirrors, I guess. But anyway, I don't know how we got onto that one, but I think that was a good little piece there. But so you've been doing comedy for a while. You've been acting in that... At school, what were you like at school? Were you smart? Did you disobey the rules? Does that sort of behaviour stem into your comedy now? Are you rebellious?
I wasn't rebellious, really. I was chatty.
Okay.
So I'd get in trouble for like being chatty. Yeah. And I'd get in trouble for
now you
like
get paid for it.
Talking to people and like they wouldn't be like, you're distracted. They'd be like, stop talking to them because they're distracted.
Yeah, that's what I would get.
So I'd get in trouble for distracting other people because like I could still do my work. Yeah. But I was talking to them and they were like, oh, no.
Yeah. Did you ever get sat by yourself?
Keeps and like too. Removed from class a couple times.
All the time.
But in that like I was also like school captain and I only got my first detention in year 12 for chewing gum.
Wow.
So like I wasn't in
So you're
trouble.
Pulling from both sides.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Were you the funny person at school or in your peer group?
Yeah, I reckon. I was always sort of, I would say.
That was your identity?
I was a funny one.
Okay,
Because a lot of my friends in high school were like really pretty girls.
Yep.
Like I went from being in the like mixed match group where it was a bit of everyone, like, you know, a band person and an artist and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was in that group, and then I sort of like kind of like shifted into this group of like gorgeous,
cool kids.
As I got older.
Yeah.
So I was the funny one in that group because that's what I had. So but I wasn't really rebellious, I guess.
No. What was sort of did you go parties when you were?
Yeah, we had house parties.
Very wild?
They were pretty wild.
Yeah.
I remember one of my like first house party memories was my friend Michelle had a pimps and hoes party. We were 15.
I love this country. Fucking how great is that? Yeah, pimps and hoes.
Yeah, and it was ridiculous. Like girls were literally in their underpants. Like it was
great. I would love to have known you would have gone as a pimp instead, just to like, you know, break the rules.
Yeah, I don't remember what I think I wore a tutu. I definitely wasn't like.
You sort of just played along with it, but just enough to.
To just like sneak in, but.
Did you feel like you fit in school, or was it more of the better the devil you know than the devil you don't?
A little bit of that, I think.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of a little bit, I had like a foot in each door, a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, but I wasn't really like deep into any of them.
Yeah.
So I kind of was just like cruisy with everyone, but I didn't have like deep relationships with any of them really.
So, I mean, you know, do you see yourself like at school and that, did you say that you wanted to be like, what were your aspirations when you're in school? You sat there and you're like, what do I want to do every day for the rest of my life?
Yeah, it would have been acting. Like
there's a famous actress, like Hollywood actress type, like that the trajectory or? I liked
theatre acting.
Theatre acting, okay.
So there's a theatre in Sydney called Belvoir Street, and I used to go there all the time. Like I would just go by myself on a Tuesday night and I'd watch their theatre shows there.
Yeah.
And I was always like, I want to be here. Like that was my goal. I was like, I want to be in a play at Belvoir Street, even though it's not like huge, but it was a really cool theatre and I was like, this is what I want.
I remember telling everyone I want to be a part of NIDA.
Yeah, I also did a NIDA like course.
So did I. I thought it was so good. I've done a NIDA course, and then I remember this acting someone that was in the industry. I was talking to them. Wouldn't have even been high up, but high up in my time back there. I was like, oh wow, this is an important person. And they said, whatever you do, don't do a NIDA course. Like it's the machine. They're pumping out the same people, the same techniques. Go everywhere, learn everything you can. But yeah, it seems like we come from a similar area where like I had the same foot in everyone's door as well. But I never really felt, I always felt like an alien. Like I was monitoring everyone, looking around, and I was a part of it, but I was still also had one foot in the door of everyone, but also out. So do you feel like you had a different mindset back then to...
Sorry, there's a bug.
You're right. She's seen shit. There is not a bug there.
There actually so was.
She's schizophrenic.
There he is, look. You're not going to be able to see that on camera. I just look crazier.
Yeah.
I see what you did
Play
there.
It back. Action replay. Slow-mo.
Seriously, I'm not... Okay, it's fine. I'm just going to pretend it's not there.
Did you have this mentality, like I think a lot of people lack it, unfortunately, that, you know, when you put your mind to something, you can do it. Like, did you think when you were going, I want to go be in that theatre and do plays there, that it was genuinely a possibility? Because I feel like most people would say that they wanted to do that, but then would be like, oh, I probably can't do it, you know, like excuses for not acting on what they wanted to do. Did you always have that, I'm just going to do it? There's no ifs or buts. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a very... there's a really interesting, I guess, like idea that is, as artists, we all have the same like need and want and desire to be successful and the same delusion that we will do it.
Yes.
So there's like it's almost like a communitas, like a community mindset that every artist thinks they're going to be the one that makes it. But obviously statistically, only a small percentage of artists ever actually make it. But I will always say I'm the one that'll do it. And so I don't even know, like, because now I learnt that when I went to uni. I learnt that about like performing arts and the arts generally.
Yeah.
So now I sit here and I'm like, well, I know I'm going to make it. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, but remember that course that was like, you all think you're going to make it, you know?
But that's probably coming from people that wrote that course that didn't make it, and then now they're teaching it. So
yeah, true.
I think you do genuinely need to have some sort of disillusion. And when I say, but disillusion is just what is a societal construct. Like really, like there is no such thing as disillusion in the sense of that's what I want to do. I'm going to go do it. Oh, not many people make it. Well, not many people are good enough to make it. But if you have enough, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, obviously, they're like as much as because there's a difference between saying I am going to climb Mount Everest and just saying it, and literally start like training, hiking,
executing on it.
You know, there's a difference. So I feel like if you're saying and you're doing and you're constantly on an up and up trajectory, then surely at some point something's going to give.
It has to happen.
It
has to happen. That's
because
what I mean.
It logically there's no other way.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but I still am not as much because I sort of get it, but I just went on this thing maybe a year or so ago. It was like law of attraction. Like, you know, I've seen so many things in my life that I've thought about constantly and then worked towards, and then miraculously you end up fucking getting pretty close.
Yeah. Like The Secret.
Yeah, similar. But the thing is, my problem with The Secret and those sort of things, they're great, and I think they're right to a sense. But you have too many people that'll read something like that and then sit there and think about it all day. But then, like you said, they don't fucking act on it, and then nothing happens, and they end up being miserable fucking, you know, because they've got this false sense of if I just think about it, then I'll attract it into my life.
You still have to live.
Do you play the lottery?
No.
Do you believe in the lottery?
Well, I mean, what do you mean believe in it? Like it's a thing.
Do you believe that if you, like my mother, she put up a status the other day, and it broke my goddamn heart. She put it up and she said, you know, at the shopping centres, they put the raffles in for those houses or cars or whatever. It was a house. She's like, this is the house that we won on the Gold Coast, bought this ticket for something or other. And I just had to look at her, and I felt like such a fucking arsehole for saying it. But I was like, Mum, like luck doesn't exist. Like you're not, if that's where you're putting your hopes and dreams into a raffle. Yeah. You're not going to fucking get there. Like I think it's preparation. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity, like you said. Having an ideal, working towards it, and then, like you said, eventually
something's going
to collide. Yeah. Have you feel like you've seen that in your own life, that you have enough proof to go, yep, that's definitely how it works?
Sure, definitely, because because obviously you don't know when the opportunity is going to come, right? Because you don't have a crystal ball, you don't know. Yeah. But if you're consistently working hard, opportunity comes. Yeah. And then once they're both together, then you know, for sure, I think that as long as you keep working hard, then the opportunity comes, then it all follows, you know?
Do you feel like with comedy or the arts in general, I don't know if this is a loaded question or not, but obviously at the moment in society we have a big conversation about gender and all that sort of stuff. Do you feel like you have to go through different hurdles than what a male would? And are the hurdles more, or are they less, or are they different hurdles but sort of at the same, you know, different paths to the same destination? Like, how do you feel being a female comedian in this industry where people go, oh, it's male dominated? Do you think that's because just more males choose to do it, or do you feel like it's harder to be a woman in the arts?
I think in comedy especially, like, I mean, I can only talk from what I know.
Yeah.
So I think comedy is hard. And again, I don't know how it is for a dude doing comedy. So I could be saying this and dudes are sitting there like, no, but I felt the exact same way. But I think it is hard, and I would say harder for females, because there is a very male-dominated industry. And so when you come in to crack it, I think the reason there aren't as many female comics is because when you come in at a like open mic level, you're literally walking into open mics with like 50 dudes, 2 chicks. They all have little cliques that they're all sitting with and having chats, and like you either have to like assimilate and be like a bros bro, or you have to be your own island but still try and like book the gigs and get in
Yeah.
a different way.
Yeah.
And so I think the reason that there are less female comedians generally is because most of them drop out. You know, like it's not, starting is hard. Staying in is even harder, you know, like to be able to sit in that and still want to keep going, even though it's kind of not a great sort of entry or welcome.
No, but because I feel sort of the same. It'd be the same for everyone in some sense, probably harder for others than, you know, but do you feel like that could also be, because there's going to be people that will want to ask this as well, but like, do you feel like that's just because there genuinely isn't enough females wanting to do it, wanting to get that start? Like, yeah, there might be more falling out, but just let's say there's 50 dudes a day that are going to stand up and only 20 girls. Obviously, you know, it's constantly gonna be like this.
Yeah, I 100%. I think from the beginning there are less females that want to do stand up already.
Why?
I think it's because this might be like, I think it's because the male ego. Genuinely, I think there are more dudes out there that think to themselves, I'm funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crush stand up.
Yeah.
I think females are less inclined to, like what we were talking about at the beginning, I think females are less inclined to be like, I have this skill set and therefore I'm going to push and I'm going to achieve it.
Right, okay.
I think because society has just said like,
so it comes
probably
back,
don't.
So it comes back to maybe, you know, if what you said is true, then maybe it comes back to a societal thing altogether and not necessarily an industry thing. It's not something that the industry needs to necessarily fix, but just as a society together we need to fix, just motivate more people to do shit instead of constantly be pushing people down.
Totally.
Were you religious growing up?
I went to Catholic schools, but I wasn't like hardcore religious.
Yeah.
Like I didn't go to church or anything.
Where do you see yourself now, sitting in that spectrum? That fucking bugs are at me.
Oh,
no,
is it?
Yeah.
It's
the
real.
Law of attraction, people. Yep.
I would say I'm agnostic because I like to believe that there's something else.
Yeah.
But I obviously don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I hope.
Yeah.
Like I would hate for this to just be it. But then like I have to kind of live and just think that this is it. You know?
Do you hope that there's a heaven and a hell?
I would kind of love for reincarnation to be a thing. I think that would be so cool. Like I can come back as like a butterfly or something and then come back as something else. But I don't know.
There's other people that we've had, like, do you know the comedian Rhys Darby?
Yeah.
I think he genuinely believes that he was, what was it, Connor?
Some sort of time bird or something.
Yeah, he was like a bird or something. Like he believes he's reincarnated. And I know a lot of people that think that as well. I think it's plausible.
It'd be really cool.
I had this quote that I thought of one day. My quote, I came up with this. I was very proud of it. But
you like barreled the camera.
Reincarnation is, what was it? Oh, fuck. Yeah, I was going to say I'm really smart then. Reincarnation is like the universe's... fuck it. Anyway, it was really smart. I'll come back to it if I think of it. But anyway, so you've been doing comedy for, 3 or 4 years. Great
Reincarnation
segue.
Straight into comedy. Great.
I'm one of Australia's best. Rove, watch out. You've been doing comedy for... What's... like, have you ever had to deal with fuckwits in the audience? Like real hectic fuckwits? Hecklers?
Yeah, like I've had like a couple of like weird gigs where they're not necessarily like heckling me or like my set, but like I've just been in a position where I'm like, this is hectic. Like I did a sailing club in Newcastle, I think. Yeah. And or outside of Newcastle. Gosford maybe? Anyway, when I was still in Sydney. And there was a dude in the audience who was, it was like an RSL essentially, and he was there to just like chill with his mates. And then this comedy thing just like started happening.
So it was free comedy night.
Free comedy, and it was like Mother's Day special, and it was like everything's great, and then all of these people came in to watch the comedy, and we're there and we start doing the show, and these guys are like, well, no, because we're here to have dinner and chill out. So they kept talking at like their normal volume, and the room runner was like, hey guys, like, can you just keep it down? Like, there's a free comedy night, like, you know, and turned into like a proper brawl. Like while we were on stage, you could hear them like fight, like him being like, I will fuck you up, like meet me in the car park, blah, blah, blah. And then literally he waited in the car park for us to come out. The police had to come. It was crazy. But it wasn't like my set.
That happens often for me.
Yeah. I'm
not kidding.
No,
Like,
I didn't think you were kidding.
People like waiting car parks for me.
Why?
Because there's something, for me it's great, but there's something amazing about sucking someone in with some vulgar humour and then, them yelling out and thinking that they're smarter than you, and then it sort of clicks to them when they do that, and then you heckle back at them.
Yeah.
And there's sort of like this flip where, maybe they're in front of their girlfriend or something like that, where...
And then they feel like an idiot, and then they're not
the
cool
masculinity is sucked from them in a second. And it's like, it's everything I've ever wanted to say to like people that have put me down. It's just that I channel that energy straight into that. And I want to say, because my mother always said to me,
so interesting.
Words will hurt someone more than any sort of physical violence. My dad used to be quite physical, and it's a lot of, there's domestic violence in my family and that. I thought, right, I'm going to, if someone fucks me off enough on stage, I'll say something smart enough, like not like, you're a shit cunt. Like, I can say that. Maybe I'll say that at the start as like a bit of
cool
banter.
Down. Yeah.
But, we had a guy in Perth just recently on my last tour. I was drinking a beer on stage. I was just drinking what the venue put there. And he said something like, "What are you drinking cider for, you fag?" Like that. And it wasn't cider, it was pale ale. So firstly, I said, I just flicked, because it was the second last show of the tour. I said, "Turn the fucking house lights on now." Turn them on. Tim wasn't sure, the tour manager Tim wasn't sure. I'm like, "Turn the house lights on now." The house lights all go up. I'm like, "Stand up, you." And he stood up and he was just just kept yelling out, "Fag," and you're drinking cider, drink a real beer. And it's a great opportunity, I feel, to explore someone in their most vulnerable state. And it almost becomes like psychology to me, where you can go, right, I want you to leave, and I want you to wake up tomorrow and the next day after that and the next day after that. And
the eye contact is really scaring me. I'm like, is he doing it to me right now?
Yeah. I want people to question life when they fuck around like that, really. But, geez, you should come to a gig with me. I reckon you fuck them up. I think you're strong enough to be able to do that. That's why I was interested in, has that ever happened to you?
I don't think... The reason that I don't have any stories like that, I think, is because I shut it down before it even happens, kind of. I think the energy in my space when I have a show, and I'm talking about like my own solo shows, not necessarily gigs, just spots. Yeah. But I think the energy in my show is... Give me something. Give me some stuff. We'll have an exchange, and I open the floor up to have people come and say stuff to me, right? Yeah. Which means I think they're less inclined to do it haphazardly as like a heckle, and they're more inclined to just get involved as the show allows.
I definitely do that, but my problem is that some people just get too drunk and they don't know where to draw that line between this is appropriate, banter.
Their filter is lost once they get drunk enough.
It's amazing though. It's amazing how people just go like that.
But so I think the reason that I don't have any like standout moments is because I'm like, "You're done." And it's done.
Oh, wow. Just putting people out.
Well, that's not how I do it, but it's very quick, and that's it.
Do you think you perform under that pressure? If you have someone that you do like it? I love it as well.
Yeah, same. I like it. It seems like challenging, but I think because the sort of like the feel that I give my shows, it kind of doesn't feel like...
It doesn't lend itself to that.
No, and it's never really overly like aggressive, but there is, there have been moments where there's like an exchange and I'm like, all right, done, you know, and moving on.
Move on, yeah.
But the energy in the room is never like that. It's never like, you're a piece of shit. Yeah. It's like, they'll say something and I'll be like, incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself, I guess, politically, like in the world right now? Do you feel like you're a bit of everyone, but I've got an opinion on this that might lean towards one side, or are you strongly for just one side only, and does that play into your comedy or anything like that?
I think controversially, I don't sit strongly. I know, like...
Anywhere?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the world is such a heinous, horrible place that sometimes getting swept up in it, like, what is my one opinion truly going to do?
Yeah.
obviously I am, you know, like even with the gay marriage poll, like obviously I'm going to vote because that's right. That's the right thing to do. But I don't like to sit in it. I think it's yuck. It makes me feel like, I mean.
Do you know, when you hear people say that it's okay to vote no, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's not.
It's not?
It shouldn't be. Like, I just feel like it's like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like in today's day and age, like we're all human. Yeah. And I think it's ludicrous that like basic human rights aren't allowed purely because of someone's sexual orientation. I think that's ludicrous.
Do you feel like when people come, because this is where I'm at. I'm for it. I don't have a dog in the fight. Like just be happy. I want people to be happy. And if that's what will make people happy, then fine. But I've also become of the opinion that I'm like, well, some people have a belief system that is backed up by a book that we can't prove is who it's really written by or anything like that. But, you know, there's you know, sections of society that people staunchly believe in these, you know, this certain belief system. And obviously there's this weird like thing that goes on between like, you know, you can't really talk about Muslims or anything going on over there. And you know, there's this sort of consensus amongst, I suppose, mainstream media, I guess, that, you know, refugees and you know, Muslims coming into the country, that's fine. And I was always like, yeah, that's totally, I've not got an issue with it. But there's some real, like, they kill gay people. Like, the stuff that's going on over there is insane. And I heard someone telling me once about, you know, feminism that the West talks about is so much different to what's going on in, like, Africa and all these other countries where there's people literally in Afghanistan trading young girls as currency. Do you think that we should be maybe focusing on, like, the whole issue as one? Or do you feel like maybe we're a little bit egotistical or selfish to just be focusing on it in our little bubble? Are we trying to fix the world, or are we trying to just help ourselves out?
Well, I mean, like, how troublesome has this vote in and of itself been? So as a nation, we don't even have like a collective opinion that is like one. So how would we be able to move forward out into what would we be able to do to, you know, like, most of the population isn't even aware of all of this stuff happening overseas. Like, and then like without even knowing what's going on overseas, and then also having this like huge divide in our own country, I feel like it would be like really almost impossible to then try and like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm
like, I feel like you have to, you have to take it chunk by chunk, surely. Yeah. You know, like, it's like world poverty, like how it's such a big thing that you have to start somewhere. So like being able to donate to charities and, you know, Oxfam and all of that, obviously like every little bit helps. So I feel like we need this to then get enough awareness about everything else happening.
Some forward. Yeah.
That's
okay.
Right, yeah.
All right. But let's say you're someone that can, you know, you're extremely Catholic or whatever, because I've met people like this where they're like, look, I am, you know, I voted no. My family voted no. We don't mind that there's gay people. We don't. But I met this guy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because this really threw me, because I didn't know these people still existed, but they do. And after knowing that they do exist, I have to somewhat in myself take my own personal opinion aside and respect them still to have their own opinion, right? Like there's, I might not agree with it. I might think it's totally morally wrong, but at the same time, they are entitled in some sense to say what they believe. Like if it was the foot, if I was on the other end of the foot, like that's inequality as well in itself, to not be able to have
an opinion
on something, whether that be right or wrong. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't say anywhere whether it's right or wrong. There's some literature that says it's wrong. We think it's right, but there's no like universal thing that says this is what's right and this is what's wrong. Who decides at the end of the day whether we're the right ones or we're the wrong ones?
I mean,
I don't know where I'm going with that question. It just feels like it's so much more complex than.
But I mean, that's why the Bible was invented or written by God, whatever, however you want to look at it, obviously to try and make a universal law. But now there are...
It was a control system though.
Yeah, but now there is so... I mean, like the judicial system is also the same. Like it's just a set of... Rules, exactly.
Yeah.
But there are so many different sets of rules.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, there isn't.
So what, you know, that's why I sit on the fence with going, look, vote for what you personally believe in, because we all are connected to a certain type of belief system. And I hope that mine, you know, prevails.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just feel like it does a real disservice to demonize people because their belief system might be slightly different to mine, because that's the exact same ideology that someone like Pauline Hanson has.
I think that the way that I live my life and the way that I think is like the most just way to live life is obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
That is a basic human right. You should be able to have your own opinion. I am happy to have my own opinion and for you to have your own opinion as well, as long as your opinion doesn't affect my life and my happiness.
Yeah.
And I think that saying no affects a lot of people's happiness.
Yeah.
Whereas saying yes affects... You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if my belief and your belief differ, but your belief then like impedes my life in some way, or then I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
I think everyone, you know.
So that's where you draw a line.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like I'm happy to be opinionated about whatever I believe in, and for you to as well, as long as our beliefs don't.
But what if they use that same argument against you and say, well, yeah, voting yes actually does impede on my belief system. But
it doesn't affect your life. It doesn't affect...
They could argue that it doesn't. I mean, I don't think it does, but they could argue... I mean, they do. They argue that it affects their life. I mean, this is what I saw that was extremely fascinating the other day on the Gold Coast. We were in Marrickville in Sydney last week shooting some podcasts, and there was vote yes everywhere, you know, and I was like, wow, we don't see this on the Gold Coast. There was a big billboard just near my house that had, like, it was a TV type billboard that had vote no for freedom of speech. And I'm like, don't bring freedom of fucking speech into this. Like, I'm for freedom of speech. If you want to say something racist, then you're a fucking idiot, but say it so I can weed you fuckers out, all right? And then I can call you a fucking asshole for doing it. We have to have freedom. You can't be policing people on what they say, because that just ideology in itself can lead to so many more problems, all right? But after that, the next thing that popped up was the advertising brand that owned the Billboard had vote yes on the Billboard thing straight after it.
So you allowed someone to pay you?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know.
Money talks. That's fucked.
It is. And I feel like, you know, if it does get through, I feel like you'll still see 6, 7, 8 months of it still not being a thing. And I've spoke to, you know, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think it would have been more beneficial for Australia to just wait for another government to come in to just sign it into law? Do you think it would be better to just wait another year or two and then go, all right, this, instead of going through this whole process of...
I think it's hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of unnecessary, and there still is a lot of ongoing unnecessary, like, unsettlement and hurt that was totally unnecessary. So had there been a way to avoid that, I think it would have been better, sure.
Yep. If you could just... This is the last on the gay marriage topic, but it's a really good one to have, because everyone's... a conversation to have, because everyone's opinion on it is so polarizing. And me hosting this, I've got to make sure that I can cover everyone's thought system on it.
Yeah.
Because some people are very, like, you know, very left or right on the whole thing.
It's so funny that I started this by being like, I have no strong opinions. And then I'm like, here's a strong opinion.
No, I like it. That's what you need to have.
Yeah.
If you were to take a bet, where would you say it would swing? You know, like percentage-wise, would it be like 90% yes, 10% no, or other way? Like, where would you put money on, just as a trivial...
Probably like unfortunately, probably like 70-30.
Yeah, I feel more 60-40.
Okay.
And I don't know which way that would swing either. I think...
Damn.
I feel like I've already, like, imagined it. We're going to wake up one morning and your news feed is just going to be either one way or another, but I personally think I can see it of people typing, "Oh my God, didn't know this, can't believe this country is so much more homophobic than what I see that's where this is going. I feel like this is done.
But what a horrible, so unnecessary. Now you have a huge population of our country feeling like the majority of people around them don't want them to have equal rights. I think that's actually insane. That's insane. It's like you saying to me, "Oh, you're not allowed to walk down this specific street anymore just because I don't think you should."
Yeah, because the thing, Jesus, that thing.
Because
my book said no.
Yeah, I think it's ludicrous. It doesn't. Anyway.
Religion.
Fuck
it all. At the end of the day.
Sure.
I don't know. I think it's.
I think the fundamentalists. Have really
organised religion is what I mean. I think, like you said, fundamentalists or this organised. Jesus.
There are two.
Anyway, I don't know. I just think religion causes. I think you can find your own God. I think you are my personal belief is you're your own God. Where do you sit with that? Do you feel like there's an external force, or do you feel like you are in total control?
I don't necessarily think there's a higher being.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that I'm totally in control.
Right.
I kind of believe in fate and also a little bit of destiny.
Yeah.
I believe that I like to think that whatever happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So I'm of the belief that if something shit happens in my life, there's a reason for it. It means that I will do this. And my life has been an example of that. I can tell you numerous times where something real fucked up has happened and I've been that's it. This is the worst that it can get. I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And then turn the page and something great has come from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think I'm necessarily totally in control of everything that happens around me. Obviously I can't be.
Yeah.
But I do think there's an element of fate.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah.
Yes, some sort of power.
Yeah.
Energy that works around us. But it kind of is a similar belief to the opportunity meets hard work kind of thing.
Yeah, so, that it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
And do you think your fate can change depending on the decisions that you make every day?
I don't know about everyday decisions, but I think as a the way that you anchor yourself and the way that I think that can alter the way that you
sail.
Yeah. And even if it's not permanent, maybe, I'm literally just talking and thinking at the same time, but I think...
Welcome.
Maybe, I know, it's actually brilliant.
I don't know if you didn't listen to the last 10, 15 minutes of me talking, but it was just weird shit coming out of my mouth trying to tread the eggshells that was that argument, but yeah.
I think potentially your course can be altered for a small amount of time, but maybe you do have a bigger ultimate thing, maybe my ultimate, where I'm going to ultimately end up is here, but I can get to it like this, or I can get to it like this, or I can get to it like this, So
do you feel like in yourself you like to believe that there's one predetermined thing that you're going to do no matter what, and the trajectory for that
I don't know.
Changes?
I don't know. I just said that, but I don't know if that's what I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd like that. I'd like that to be the case, maybe.
Yeah.
But then I guess you can't decide whether that's a good or a bad thing, whether it's the same ultimate that you have in your mind that is the one that you achieve, or whether it's already predestined that... Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
that's interesting.
So are you born a murderer or not? Like a bad...
Oh my God, I love this shit.
I love murderers. I love murderers.
No, my favorite show to watch at the moment is called Lock Up, and it's on Netflix. And it's...
Yeah, I know the show.
I've literally watched about 25 episodes in the last... You don't like it?
No, I was just thinking the last time I watched 25 episodes of something was on a flight to Perth, and it was Friends. So 25 episodes of Lock Up it's intense. I'd rather be locked up for 25 episodes of Friends, but anyway, Lock Up, yeah.
Yeah. Are you born a murderer? That's so interesting.
Yeah. Are people born bad people, or does society make them bad people?
I don't know.
Is that their predetermined thing? You're going to go kill a bunch of people.
Well, Sorry, you're born into something, aren't you? So if, let's say, murderers are a product of their environment, you're born into your environment. right?
Yeah.
So if you're more likely to be a murderer or like an evil person if you're in a certain socioeconomic area or like a certain societal area, then just by being born into that, you're almost already
right.
You know, does that make sense?
Some people say that like we have the yin and yang. Everyone has the lightness and the darkness in them.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like what you said then. Is it where we're sort of raised and where we're brought up? Does that lean towards a darker or a lighter type person? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's
follow that path?
I do. But I think also it's interesting because obviously then there's like the exception to the rule where it's someone that's born into an area or like an environment whereby they're almost like assumed to live a certain way and play out a certain way of life, and they don't.
They have have that option. Like middle class doesn't really have that option. It's sort of like you are one or the other. But you know, let's say your father's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Life is already an unlimited choice of things to do. Do you think
that's
people
so
can
true,
go crazy? Because there are billionaires and millionaires and you know people with silver spoons in their mouth that right now are pressing buttons to drone 8,000 children in the Middle East. So like,
yeah, that's a very good
point.
point.
They come from all facets.
That's a very good point.
Interesting.
So then is it a choice?
It's just more crazy murder. Like, you know, maybe if you're
That's a very interesting thought.
Yeah, no, I'm
pensive.
Yeah.
No, I'm pensive. I don't know.
Me neither. I'm going to think about it for the rest of the day.
And also, like, what about accidents?
Watch your back.
What about accidents?
People that cause accidents.
Or people that are involved in an accident. For example, like someone runs over someone and they die and then they go to jail for manslaughter.
Well, it's an accident, I guess.
But then in my fate thing, surely that's not someone's fate.
I think so.
Or you think it is?
I do, yeah. I've had people that have killed themselves. I've had people that know people that have been in car accidents, stuff like that, where I've thought to myself, and maybe this is fucked up thinking it, but I've gone, fuck, that sucks. But the roll-on effect of that's going to have on people, maybe that was their ultimate thing. They came here to live on Earth.
To do that. Because the effect that will have on people is far beyond what most people alter their lives based on someone dying, right? It's such a massive thing. People have to die. I don't know. I feel like there is a possibility that people are born on this earth to die from accidents because other people that go on to do different things are able to affect different people and different. Do you get what I mean? Like I feel like I do. I'm
linked into, as weird as that is.
Well, that
has to be part of fate.
That would, for me, that would be a more comfortable theory to believe because I believe in fate.
Well, if there's one thing, you know, if we have fate, then everyone, like, it's not discriminative to anyone.
That's the only way that it would make sense in my same belief.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
How do we segue from that one? Gay marriage and murderers.
Heavy shit.
Not gay married murderers. We're not two separate things. Well, so like you're doing a show this year, next year, sorry, coming up. You're doing the festival run again. Yeah. What's your show going to be, or are you able to give us any?
Am I able to do that? I phoned a friend.
Yeah. The publicist. Is she allowed to do that?
My new show is going to be called No You Hang Up.
Yeah.
And it's about hang-ups.
Yeah.
So it's about the aim of the show. I mean, it's still very much in the working program. Yeah. But the aim of the show is to have audiences come in, have a little share about their own hang-ups. They can be really dumb, like hearing someone chewing or whatever. Yeah. I mean, everyone has their own hang-ups and they all have different severities and different levels. But I want the show to be like a kind of like a purging of the hang-ups to sort of like catch and release them.
Yeah, okay.
So,
it's like Scientologist shit.
Oh, shit.
They do that.
Oh, damn.
They get you to talk about something over and over and over again.
Oh, it's not going to be like chanting in a room. I mean, it's still a comedy show. It's still a stand-up show. But I mean, the vibe I want to have is like for us to all chill out a bit.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Just have a chill.
She's starting a cult. She's definitely
it's
a fate. It's a fate cult. You come in, you rid yourself of everything, desensitize yourself, and then, you know.
Well, obviously, coming to my 1 hour
push you in front of a car and go, oh, that's fate.
Oh no. But obviously
Tickets online soon, yeah?
my 1 hour show is not going to be like, it's not, that's not what's going to happen. But I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah.
It's and it's going to happen in a funny way.
Yeah.
With,
like Mean Girls, you know? And
no, not the car thing.
Okay.
The show, I mean.
Oh, the show.
Yeah. So the cult, sorry, the cult.
The comedy cult.
Comedy cult, yeah.
Would you join a comedy cult?
I would start one. I would be the charismatic leader of
That's
a
what she's
comedy
doing
cult.
next year. I forgot.
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, we just spoke about that.
I'll stop interrupting. I'll let you go.
We just spoke about that. Yeah, it's going to be like a fun. I have done 2 quite serious shows.
Yeah.
Like one of my shows was about mental health awareness and tackling that.
Yeah.
And that was like very like more personal in a sense, even if, And then last year's show was a little bit more silly.
Yep.
And I really like that. I like the idea of being able to like bring a bunch of adults into a room and get them to laugh at silly shit.
Yep.
I think that's fun. And with all of this shit going on and all the conversations that we can have, like the one we're having right now that's like so heavy and so full on, I like the idea of being able to say, come into this room, forget about it for an hour. Let's literally not talk about that shit. I think comedy is really great for a number of different reasons. Obviously, it's a really good platform to discuss political ideas and address really big social issues. But I think it's also a really nice getaway. It's a really nice sort of escapism in a sense.
Of course.
So I am consciously trying to tap into the latter.
You like that one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally like that as well, just because of like who I am. So I like sillier stuff. Yeah. Even though, Do
you feel like comedy's a good healing tool? Like if you can laugh at something that is sort of fucked up that might have happened to you, do you feel like that's a sign of going, oh wow, I'm actually over it? Like I can laugh at something. Like, do you ever like something shitty happen in your life and you look back maybe 5 years later and you laugh because you go, oh my God, I can't believe I got so hung up on that on that one thing. Do you feel like laughing is genuinely a sign of I'm clear again from that? I think
if you don't laugh, you'll cry, right?
Yeah.
I think it's telling when you can laugh about something. There's certain things in my life that I still can't joke about.
Yeah.
And I think that is really telling. That's like the opposite of what you're saying. So therefore, obviously, what you're saying is true. Do you know what I mean?
Is it okay? So is it okay to joke about those things that you can't joke about anymore? Do you still feel like, look, I can't joke about it yourself, but do you still think it's okay for someone else to joke about it if they've had that experience and maybe they find healing in a different way?
Sure. And if it's well executed, I think.
Yeah, there's some people that just don't do it right. You go, oh.
Yeah. I mean, if it's done well and there's a personal attachment to it, I think that is...
What's totally off bounds for you? What steps over the line where you go, nah, that's fucked and I will not have, like, no matter what, personal connection, whatever, that's just not okay to get up on stage and talk about? Or do you feel like everything is fair game as long as it's justified in some way or another?
That's tricky.
Comedians think totally differently about this one.
As a comedian, I seldom talk about things that are really heavy.
Yeah.
I won't talk about a lot of things.
Yeah.
As an audience member, I think it's kind of the same about having an opinion. If my opinion and your opinion, so if the joke is good and it's funny and it doesn't hurt anyone in the room and it's done from an angle that is actually funny and in some way, I guess, healing for that person or whatever, go right ahead. But if everyone is so quick to be offended by stuff now that it's hard, because I'm sure that almost anything that touches on anything that's a bit taboo is going to offend someone.
I feel like that's what comedy was always meant for, though, to talk about the taboo.
Yeah, but I think now people are more sensitive to that, you know? It's harder to be... I think it's the internet as well. I think it's because now collective people, there's a sense of communitas in being offended now as well. Like comment threads, you know? So now it's not only do I have my opinion and I'm offended by this, but I have 55,000 other people on the internet that are also backing me up in this claim. Yeah. So it's easier to be offended because it's easier to be in contact with people that are also offended.
Or does that come back to the gay marriage thing then? That maybe, you know, people get offended because someone has that different opinion of me. But at the end of the day, you know, it weighs itself out, and it's like, well, you're allowed to have that opinion. Yes, it offends me, but what is offence? It's an emotional feel. Like, it doesn't change reality. Offence doesn't change reality, I don't think.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that's difficult because I also don't think that the people, and I mean, I don't know every person that's voting no, but I don't think that the people that are voting no have any real, like...
argument, that's what, yeah, okay.
And there's nothing in the game. Like, you don't... Yeah, you're offended, but you being offended is not your whole life being dictated by a bunch of other people, which is what's happening to...
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I thought I got you there for a sec. You got me back. All right, good. All right, so you've got that show coming up. Where do you start? Do you know where you're starting?
Melbourne.
The Comedy Festival?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I'm going to do some small trials around the place.
Yep.
I did that this year. I started... Pardon?
When do you start your trials?
I am going to Nepal tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even get to this. Great.
But so I'll be...
Get the toilet paper.
I'll be away for a little bit, but I hope that I can do some writing over there. So I'm hoping to do a trial maybe late November, early December.
What are you doing in Nepal? Come on, spill the beans.
I'm going to a yoga retreat. I'm going to a yoga retreat and a meditation retreat.
Yeah.
Like an ashram. So I'm a little nervous because one of the programs is a yoga detox program, and it's literally 3 apples a day. That's all you eat.
3 apples a day?
Yeah. But I don't think that's what I signed up to, but maybe I did.
Would you do ayahuasca?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm going to be by myself, which I think is...
Good on you.
Like... You know, I want to be safe.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I've got my head switched on and I know what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be an experience in and of itself anyway.
Yeah.
8 days without technology. I'm so excited, but also like so apprehensive. You know, not having Facebook and not having my phone, not being able to text anyone.
I was getting nervous before we started this. You came in and I had to sit down because I was sitting there the whole time going, I'm getting nervous now because there's notifications on my phone that I can't read.
That's horrible.
It's a terrible way to live life.
The worst. Yeah. Do you switch off technology at a certain time at night?
No.
You should. It'll make you feel... I guess you're too popular. You can't turn it off.
No, it's
you know, like so many notifications. Watch me get my phone out and there'll be nothing, and I'll be like, "This is why I'm not stressed."
No, it's just like 1 or 2 friends that'll message me, and I have my notifications turned off. But I constantly like to be there for it. Like, it's like work is 24/7 and it never ends.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I'll quit one day, because it's like I don't know if it'd be just it is such a far-fetched idea, but so romantic to be able to do what you're about to do, which is go, I'm leaving. I'm just going to go. And, part of me goes, one day maybe I'll just get enough money and go and open a fucking milk bar in Bali and make enough money that I can smoke some weed and...
Sorry.
It was a good censor. Smoke some weed and... maybe not in Bali. I don't think I'll smoke weed in Bali. But... yeah, just live simple and see what life is.
I don't think that I could live like that. I think, like, come back to me in 2 weeks and see how I'm going without having, But I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
Will I lose the plot? Who knows? But I think either way it'll be good material.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
You should be filming it.
That's what I thought. I was talking to someone this morning about that. I was like, I should have actually filmed this.
I like how you just censored yourself then. You went...
I always do that. I don't
Do you swear in your comedy?
I do.
Yeah.
But in everyday life, I don't know why I will not say.
Good on you.
I just did it.
There we go. Censor that out, Connor.
Yeah.
Nepal. Tomorrow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're on Instagram, Facebook, all the
Yes.
good stuff. All right, we'll put your stuff in the links down below. Emily, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Wild chat. We had some good stuff.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. It went everywhere.
I like that. I think we jive well. I think it was a good chat. They're gonna love it.
We're gonna do a musical.
We are gonna do a musical.
Yeah, well, stay tuned for the musical.
Stay tuned for the musical. Yep, Adelaide
Thank you.
Fringe. See ya.